He returns to the O2 Arena 7 years after his last appearance.
Anthony Joshua will be attempting to reinvent himself with his recently hired coach Derrick James for AJ's 12-round main event against the hungry American Jermaine Franklin.
This time in an absolute must-win fight against America's Jermaine Franklin.
Joshua is in a must-win situation tonight, as he's lost his last 2 fights, and it's reached the critical stage where he can't afford another defeat.
He needs to win, and not only win, he's going to have to look good.
The 2-time heavyweight champion has fought in 12 consecutive world title fights, but faces Franklin with no belts on the line.
As I said, I'm not here to talk, I'll just do what I have to do because I really want to win.
Franklin lost via a questionable decision against Dillian Whyte last November, but the American has another big chance.
Franklin, he's a very good fighter, very good fighter. We see it against Dillian Whyte.
After a 3-year break, Franklin put together a pair of wins before taking Whyte to the limit.
In this fight, Jermaine's will is going to be bigger than Anthony Joshua's skill.
Anthony Joshua scaled in at the heaviest weight of his 10-year professional career, weighing in at a whopping 255.4 pounds against the 234.1 pounds Jermaine Franklin.
It's going to be a good fight because he's up against the real one.
It's an intriguing heavyweight clash with plenty on the line for both fighters, even if no belt is at stake.
Jermaine Franklin versus myself. I'm going to do my best and may the best man win.
Anthony Joshua has his back against the wall ahead of a crucial matchup with Jermaine Franklin at the O2 Arena in London.
From the O2 Arena, the Lion's Den, the scene of so many great Anthony Joshua nights.
Joshua returns to his home country after losing his rematch with Alexander Usyk in Saudi Arabia.
I just really look forward to getting in there. I'm so happy I'm fighting again.
The 33-year-old will be looking to get back into the win column after back-to-back losses to Usyk, the last being a split decision that kept him from getting several heavyweight championships back.
2 defeats in his last 2 fights, so this is the next coming of AJ, if you like.
It's been a rough few years for Joshua.
A very, very good performance from Anthony Joshua, but it still wasn't enough to beat Usyk.
Since losing his stunning upset to Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019, he's earned the titles back only to lose them to Usyk.
I'm just going to go back and look at myself and correct my wrongs.
After starting his career off 22-0, he is now 2-3 in his last 5 fights.
Yeah, I took a loss, but that's a lesson. It's a blessing. I can use it as fuel to get better. I can use it as fuel to kind of right my wrongs.
In each of those losses, Joshua has been outclassed by a smaller fighter.
In boxing, things might change overnight in one fight because I'm desperate to see him win.
The losses have forced Joshua to make changes to the way he trains.
It's all about the focus. It's all about how he's focused and how much he's dedicated, how much he sacrificed.
He worked with Robert Garcia for his rematch with Usyk, and he has worked with Derrick James this time around.
I feel he knows how to get someone fight ready, and he's pushing me in that direction.
He has a prime opportunity to gather some momentum with a win over Franklin.
I feel like I'm being pushed hard, and he's pushing me to a point to rebuild me again.
Franklin won the first 21 fights of his career, including decision wins over familiar names Rydell Booker and Jerry Forrest. That run of success led to a fight in London against former world title challenger Dillian Whyte.
Dillian's a top 10, top 15 fighter, so I show people what I'm capable of.
Ultimately, Whyte took a mildly controversial majority decision, though Franklin proved he could hang with one of the better heavyweights in the world. Joshua and Franklin are coming off losses from their previous fights, but this is very much a fight made to get Joshua a much-needed win and confidence boost.
Jermaine Franklin is a hungry fighter who has the skills and the potential to accomplish it.
Though Joshua is a big favorite, Franklin might have an inside edge on the former 2-time champion.
Jermaine is going to make Joshua uncomfortable. Those are our keys to victory.
Even though Joshua is 2-3 in his last 5 fights, a win here is all he needs to get back into the mega-fight territory.
Anthony Joshua has single-handedly changed the face of British boxing.
Joshua is an athletic puncher with explosive power, and he's a solid finisher when he gets someone hurt.
What fitness, what heart from Klitschko!
AJ has an 81.48% knockout rate, and his average fight time is 5.03 rounds, though he hasn't stopped anyone early since 2016. There are a lot of questions surrounding Joshua's passion and whether his best days are behind him.
He's going to have to remain disciplined, but every second of this fight, because if he gets caught, AJ can take your head off. We know that.
Changing trainers might renew his vigor for the sport, and he needs to pass this test run with flying colors to show he still has something left.
Wherever you are, do not miss it.
For Franklin, an upset here will forever change his fortunes, and he could have a claim of beating two of the best British heavyweights of the era.